Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to focus on how to improve your credit score in two parts. First, I'll explain how to improve your score fast, where you can see results in less than 30 days. Secondly, I'll show you actionable steps for you to reach the dream, the holy grail, of having a score of over 800. Now, a lot of these ideas to improve your score will relate to my previous video, where I explained in detail how your credit score is actually calculated. If you haven't seen it yet, please have a look. First off, you can quickly improve your credit score by looking for any inaccuracies in your credit report from TransUnion or Equifax. A government study found that 26% of all consumers have at least one mistake in their credit report, making them look more risky than what they really are. These mistakes could be as simple as a misspelled name, address, or accounts belonging to someone else with the same name. Now, the bigger errors could be missed payments that are not true, debts listed twice, or accounts with an incorrect balance. So if you do see those errors, simply contact the credit reporting bureau. But just remember, credit bureaus are just the messengers. It's up to you to let them know that one of your creditors reported inaccurate information. Secondly, knowing that utilization ratio is 30% of your whole credit score, if you're able to increase your credit limit, your utilization ratio will decrease drastically. For example, I actually once got my credit limit increased from $8,000 to $15,000 a few years ago, and I was using about $2,000. So my utilization ratio went from 25%, which is not too bad, to 13% with just one credit limit increase. You can see now having a few more credit cards can help you in the long run. Another solution to get an instant increase in your credit score is if you get added as an authorized user by a family member or a close friend with an excellent credit score. All their payments made in time and their good behavior will be reflected on your own credit score. So these were the ways how you can immediately increase your credit score and see fast results. Now, if you want to reach the high 700s and even 800 plus, you just need to follow the steps I will lay out for you now. First off, pay your bills on time. Not just your mortgage or car loan. I mean pay your phone bills, utilities, and rent before the due date. And believe it or not, even your parking ticket can get reported to the credit bureau. So if your credit score is suffering due to missed or late payments, you should consider setting up either automatic payments or reminders to those debts. And one other action often overlooked is to not forget to alert banks and card companies when you move. This could lead to unpaid bills if you end up not receiving the bill at the correct address. If you want to reach 800, aim for 1% utilization ratio and pay off as soon as you can your maxed out cards if you have any. Now, in order to decrease your utilization ratio, you can of course increase your credit limit, as said previously, but what you can also do is pay your balance before the statement date. Let me break it down for you. Credit cards have a statement closing date and a due date, which are not the same. The statement date is when you get billed at the last day of your billing cycle. This is when the creditor calculates the finance charges and adds them to the balance. Know that your balance on the statement closing date is the balance that will be reported to the credit bureaus. So each account statement includes every charge from the last closing date until the current closing date. Now, you normally have between 21 to 25 days after your closing date before your due date, which is when you actually have to pay your bill from your previous billing cycle. If you can pay down your balance, your best bet is to do it before the account statement closing date. This way, the lowest balance is reported to the credit bureaus, and consequently, your credit reports will show you're utilizing less of your available credit. So if you can afford it, pay down your bills every 2 weeks rather than once a month. Next up is to build a solid payment history. To reach a score deemed excellent, it might take some time depending on where your credit score currently is. With time, your average age of accounts will slowly increase your credit score as it will show you are financially responsible. Now please do not close your oldest account, or it will affect your average as seen in my previous video. If, however, you're in a situation where your credit score is poor or do not have a credit history at all because you're a student or new immigrant, for example, it may be difficult to qualify for a regular credit card. So what you can do to jumpstart your credit history is to get a secured credit card. This card helps you to build your credit score age history if you're not eligible for traditional credit cards. A secured credit card requires you to put down a deposit that you won't be able to withdraw with the bank, such as in a GIC, that secures the amount of credit they are extending to you. This way, you'll have access to credit and your payment information will get reported to the credit bureau each month. For example, if your credit card has a limit of $1,000, you will be required to deposit $1,000 in a designated account. After 6 months to a year of making steady payments and staying within your balance, you can ask if your secured credit card can be upgraded to an unsecured card. As we know, your recent inquiries are factored in your credit score, so don't ask for too much credit in a short time frame. This behavior may look irresponsible to creditors, and if you do ask for multiple credit cards, try to separate the banks by which credit reporting bureau they pull from. If you're applying for one credit card at one bank that is pulling from Equifax, you might want to apply for your next credit card from a bank pulling your report from TransUnion. Refer to my previous video if you want to know more about which banks pull from which credit reporting bureau. And finally, having a mix of credits will help you reach the 800 mark. From credit cards to installment loans to mortgages, this demonstrates that you can handle multiple types of loans and will be showcased in your credit score. In the end, just make sure to adopt good financial habits. Developing smart spending and saving habits are crucial to rebuilding your credit score. My next video will talk about travel hacking using credit card churning in Canada. For example, I was able to travel from Spain to Chile for only $37 out of my pocket. If you want to know how to travel anywhere in the country for around $100 or to travel for cheap around the world, please subscribe to be notified when I upload. And please let me know down below if there are any topics you would want me to go over.